What's up, boys and girls, skaters old and young and everything in between. Today, we're going to be going over a bunch of different gimmick-shaped skateboards. Now, we're only going to touch on a few of them very briefly that we've done in previous videos, like my own shaped Webz board, but there's a few that I've never touched on that I've only picked up recently that I think are super interesting and you guys want to know more about. Notably, the Impact skateboard that's apparently unbreakable, unrazor-tailable, has unlimited pop, and a bunch of other features that we're going to go over. And then I've also picked up this one fairly recently that seems to be one of the most dangerous skateboards I've ever picked up, and I've actually had a little test on this one and it's very difficult to skate, and I'm going to go over all the reasons why, because as you can see, by the way, rate the grip job in the comments, it has like these spikes on it. Now a few people have said to me, oh, this is for grabs, and the pro skateboarder that this board is from does do a lot of grabs, at least that's what I'm told. I've not done the research on that yet, so I'll put that on screen if it's right or not, but this board is very, very unique. And then of course we've got the notable lighter shape that I picked up from a skate shop in Nottingham. We've got the Web shape that we've been over before and we'll briefly touch on in this video. The Andy Anderson Series 2, which I've got a lot of things to say. And finally, this one that's more like a door than a skateboard. Starting with my original shape one first. And by the way, there's going to be timestamps down below. So if you want to see any board individually, feel free to go ahead, because I know a bunch of you are just going to want to see this one. And I'm not going to make you watch the entire video just to get to it at the end. This isn't that kind of channel. Just skip ahead to that. But if you're interested in hearing my thoughts on all of them, let's get into my one first. Let's go. So this one here, right? This was made by Skate Shapes. This is a company in America. I believe they're based in LA. And basically, if you send them a shape, they can make it into a skateboard for you. I'll put a few of them on screen right now. They've got some really funny ones like BLP Kosher, Ice Spice, and loads of random designs. But they made this one for me. 4 of them exist in the world. I gave away one of them on the video where I introduced this board. I have 2, and my best friend Chris has the other one. But yeah, this is the only one out of all of them that has the Webz grip tape design. And we've got Holly behind the camera right now who actually did this design. And out of all the grip jobs we've done, this one took by far the longest. I mean, let me give you a quick little close up. So as you can see, the grip job here is a direct reflection of the graphic underneath. One thing I will say is there was a slight mistake with the board graphic. As you can see here, this little line that she reached the corner never made it on this side, but the guys from Skate Shapes made that right. They sent me 2 more for free because we originally were only going to have 2. Now we've got 4, so big up to them for that. They're a great company, great people. I'd highly recommend it if you want to get like a funny board shape or a gift for a skater in your life. Or older gentlemen, if you've got a favorite skateboarder, celebrity or whatever, and you want to give your wife an idea of what to get you for Christmas, a great company. I'll link them in the description. When it comes to actually skating this one, it works surprisingly well. Like when I had it made, I was thinking to myself, yeah, it's a bit of fun, but is it actually going to be skatable? And it turns out, my shovels suck. No, it turns out that these are actually pretty good. Obviously, if you get a shinner, it's not going to be ideal, but the board that I showed you at the first, the black one, it's going to be a lot worse on that. But yeah, as with each of these boards, I'm going to do a couple tricks now, maybe like a 15 to 30-second montage. Let's go. And just for a fun little challenge, let's do 10 tricks on each board, no repeat tricks. Cue the montage. Okay, that's 10 tricks with the Webz board. Let's get on to the next one. But it's ridiculously hot in here, so a quick strip off. Also, shout out Liquid Death for all the merch. This is a nice city. Right, so next board we're going to go over is the one that probably most people want to see, is the Impact board. But by the way, quick disclaimer, I'm not going to do the 10 trick challenge of every single board because not all of them are set up, but I am going to do it with this one because this is one of my personal favorites and I've got a lot to say. So let's put some trucks and wheels on it, and as we do that, I'll talk you through the goods and the bads. Let's go. Right, so the Impact skateboard. Now I've got my phone here because I'm going to talk you through a little bit from their website as well, because I haven't got it memorized off the top of my head, but I can tell you first of all my experience with the board and how I felt while we set it up, and then I'm going to give you the actual facts from their website. So basically, a normal board for me, right, would last me maybe two to 4 weeks 2 weeks of heavy use, 4 weeks of just casual, like this time of year, autumn time use. Basically, this board I skated for a good month and it has almost no wear and tear whatsoever. The big thing for me, right, I do a lot of manual tricks. When I do manuals, obviously you get razor tail quite a lot. And the thing with me is as soon as I start to get razor tail and the board starts to like thin down on the edge, the pop becomes less consistent. So if you have a board that's like slightly worn down on one side more than the other, because you're never gonna have a consistent wear down across the whole tail, when you pop, sometimes it's just gonna be edge slightly to the right or edge slightly to the left, and it can make things a little bit less controllable. Obviously these differences are so small that the majority of people would never even notice. But for me, someone that skates full time, like not a traditional pro, but I do make most of my money from skateboarding and social media skateboard related stuff. So I do this a lot, right? I'm skating every single day, hours at a time. And this board really surprised me. Like a lot of times when you see gimmick boards like this, you always think, oh yeah, but how good is it really? Like people always big things up and say it's going to be unbreakable, unchippable, it won't raise the tail. And I've tried many of these boards over the years, but this one, it blew me away. I can't lie. Like as you can see by the board, it barely looks skated whatsoever. And another great thing about it is you think, because of the strength that's added on the board, because it's meant to be unsnappable, right? Which we can test in a future video if you want me to. But basically you'd think that for that it would be super heavy. But the board is actually so light. Like slightly lighter than a normal board, but not so light that it feels like you're skating a toy shop board, you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm very happy with this board. And usually when I try these things, I'm thinking, yeah, I'll just test it out for a day or two and see how I feel. But this one, I didn't want to take it off. I can't lie, I really enjoyed it. And I will say the price, £87, probably about $110, $115. I'll put the exact conversion on screen. But if it's gonna last you 2-3 times as long, that price is worth it. And then also when you buy a new board, you're gonna have to buy new grip tape and set the board up, which is gonna save you cost of just having the same board for, if you'd normally have a board for 3 months. If the average skater would normally have a board for 3 months, this one, you could easily have it for a year. And I would highly recommend testing it out. Maybe it's not for everybody, as a lot of skate products are. Like usually I'll try a product and I don't like it. Other people will be like, oh, well, I loved it. It's all individual at the end of the day, isn't it? Everybody's got personal preferences, but for me, these ones, I really liked it. Now I'm going to read you a little excerpt from their website so you know the scientific details behind it too. Just let me get these last couple bolts done up. Okay, so first off on their website it says built to last, designed to perform, which I can attest to. No more chips, no more breaking, pop and shape that lasts. Feels like maple, sounds like maple, which it really does, I can't lie, but it's not maple. Produced in an independent workshop in Poland from a combination of consciously sourced ash, poplar and composites. Maybe I mispronounced that. You can tell me in the comments, as I'm sure you will. Over 100 prototypes, invaluable feedback from core skateboarders and proven technology. Innovative construction. Our construction consists of various materials merged together with use of advanced technologies. Impact Deck Core is made in Vertland technology, known from snowboards and skis to get the ultimate strength to weight ratio. Edges of our decks are made from polyurethane, which protects the deck from any impacts and makes the deck close to impossible to chip. Using this construction, we can make our boards much stronger than regular decks without compromising the weight, which all that stuff I can completely attest to. This board so far has been bloody brilliant. Let's do a few tricks. All right, 10 tricks, let's go. Right now, it's hard to say this without sounding like I'm giving Impact Skateboards a little bit of a... But basically, all those tricks were first try, except one. The only one that wasn't first try was the nollie shove rock and roll. That was second try. And so, to be honest, one of my favorite skateboards ever made. Can't really say much more about it. Let's get on to the next one. Right, out of the 4 that remain, I'm going to go over this one. I'm not going to set this one up and skate it because it's an absolute mission and I don't want this video to go on for 45 minutes. So, basically, this one right here is designed to be cut into your own shape of skateboard. It could class as a gimmick, it could not, but essentially you can cut it into any shape you damn well please. Like the graphic is obviously, leaves a little bit to be desired, it's not the nicest in the world, but graphics are personal taste at the end of the day, aren't they? This 9.75 inches as it stands, but the board is just one long rectangle. You can't really do much with it as it is, although me and Ellis Frost did have a game of skate with all these boards. I'll link that in the description if you want to check that out. And we did do a few tricks on this one. Most notably, Ellis did a nollie tray flip on this one, with no grip tape, by the way. So that just goes to say how good he is. But anyway, yeah, we had a good game of skate on this one. I would say this board is decent. It has all the bolt holes, so you can cut it into any shape or length you want. It has extra holes on each side, but as it is, not really that skatable. Although, if you wanted to cut it into something funny, maybe I'll do a vote on my community page, or you guys can suggest stuff in the comments, and if I like one of them, maybe I'll cut it into that shape. But there's not much else to say on this one. Other than that, I'll just do a couple flat ground tricks as a carpet board real quick. Let's do three quick fire tricks. Start with a basic free shove. Nice. Cheeky kickflip. And let's see how high we can ollie. Actually not bad. Onto the next board. Okay, next we've got the Anderson Series 2. Now I'm going to set this one up, so just give me 2 seconds, we'll get into that. I will give you a brief talk through the setup, but first, quick blicky D. The wheels we're going to be using, Andy Anderson wheels, 52mm. My friend gave me these to test and said before he puts them on, he wants me to do a video, so if you want to see that, let me know, but that'll be in the future. We're not testing these in this video. We're just sticking them on for some first impressions. Another sponsor of Andy Anderson's, Mini Logo. I'm not sure if he uses the bearings, but he definitely uses the trucks. Sadly, I didn't have any Mini Logo trucks in stock, so we're using Royals. Still pretty decent. Anyway, let's put all these on the board and do 10 tricks. Right, so the Anderson Series 2. What makes this one so good compared to the Series 1 is because of the tail, you have this really unique shaped tail that basically if you pop from different areas and use the visual markings, then you can pretty much nail most tricks just by using where your foot is placed. The annoying thing about the Series 1 is it had the great tail, but the nose was more squared off. So if you did a pop shover or a varial flip, you'd be popping from the squared off nose. While the board was still great, that did let it down a little bit. This one fixed that problem. Completely symmetrical, weighs the same on either side. So in my opinion, one of the best boards ever made. If you watch Andy Anderson's video on all the different spots and where to put your feet for certain things like varial flips, varial heels, heel flips, this board is a game changer. It's like a hack. Yes, it's expensive, like 120 quid here in the UK, sometimes up to 150, depending if you're going for a slightly rarer model. But in my opinion, 120, totally worth it, because it's got the same sort of technology as the impact board where it's super light. Obviously it's not as over-engineered as that board, which again is great, but the Andy Anderson one is like 20 to 30% more expensive. I really enjoy this one. It definitely gets the Webz seal of approval. Let's get 10 tricks down, no repeats like we said, and then move on to the more dangerous board. Let's go. Without saying, Andy Anderson boards are some of the best ones out there. To be honest though, I would still rank the impact board a bit higher than this, which is a bold statement considering how much not only do I love Andy Anderson as a skater, but the board is an impeccable piece of skateboard engineering. So yeah, that says a lot about the impact. And if you want to see a similar video to this, but with wheels, including the Andy Anderson ones, let me know. So the next board we're going to cover is this one. I'm not going to do 10 tricks on this one because it's got no grip tape and it's like socks on a hardwood floor. This is one of the hardest boards to skate I've ever ridden. Would I recommend using something like this? No, not really. This is something that you would hang on the wall. And to be honest, it's more of a joke thing. Like if someone pulled up to the skate park on this, unless they were shredding it hard, you'd be like, what the fuck? You'd be like, what a waste of money. But yeah, this one is just more in the list as a joke. Didn't obviously really think I was going to skate this properly, did you? But yeah, no, I've done a few tricks on this. Notably, I do a double flip on every board I get. This one was one of the hardest ones to do the double flip on, especially with no grip tape. But yeah, would I recommend buying this? Certainly not. It's more of just a joke. And the worst thing about it, can't even be used as a real lighter. Now the real final board, this one here. This is a hockey board that I saw in the shop, and again, these boards are freaking expensive, man. I think it's because they have to like do such a unique printing process. So obviously they're not going to print anywhere near as many because not many people are going to buy something like this. This was £110, which is pretty damn pricey. I'm quite happy with the grip job on it though. Me and Holly did that together. Holly always does most of the work with the grip jobs though. She's definitely the arts and craftsy one out of the relationship. I come up with the ideas, Holes executes them a lot better than I do in a lot of cases. This one, I've been told it's good for grabs, but to be honest, if you're trying to grab this while jumping through the air, yeah, you could slot your finger in there, but if you even miss it or put a finger there or get a finger caught and like maybe you fall down, you could bust the finger up quick time. Obviously, the guy that made this board, I'm sure he's probably absolutely insane with it. Again, it's his board. I would hope that he would be pretty damn good with it. But yeah, these, in my experience, pretty damn difficult to skate. And I've got a couple of reasons why. The first one is, if you look at the board here, look, the good thing about the Andy Anderson is it's completely symmetrical, so that one side doesn't weigh more than the other. If we look at this side, it's way, way heavier compared to this side, which is thinner and smaller and doesn't have these wings. So not only is it a bit dangerous if you want to try something like a tray flip, the fact that the nose is way heavier, if you want to do anything that kicks the front, the board tends to turn like this. So if I do a double flip, normally it's quite easy to keep the board straight, but see how the board turns slightly? It's because the nose is heavier, and as soon as it gets a bit of momentum, it just carries the nose around, and you get that happening a lot. But I'm still gonna do 10 tricks on this board. Again, no repeats. I hope you've enjoyed all the tricks so far. But yeah, final 10, let's get into it. So I just tried a boneless, which is obviously a flatland grab trick. And I will say that this bit dug right into my knuckle. So if you're not 100% accurate, it hurts.
Or if you've got massive hands.
Or if you've got massive hands, because my fingers aren't even that big. And they just fit in there by like a few pixels. So maybe that isn't even the right way to use it. If you've got any more info, let me know in the comments. Right, so if you've made it this far in the video, you're obviously one of my OGs. So as a reward for being one of my OGs, I'm giving away one of the brand new Escapism Land Rover design boards. These are coming out. They might even be out by the time this video drops, so definitely check the website. But if you want to win one, comment your favorite trick out of all the ones I've done in this video and what board it was on. Simple as that. I'll pick a winner next week. Right, boys, well, that's the gimmick boards. Let me know which one was your favorite. The list here tells you which one was mine. And number one, obviously the Impact, and then all the other ones are as follows. If you enjoy this kind of video, let me know if you want one similar for wheels, trucks, bearings, any of that stuff, and I'll see you in the next one.